Hey everyone, welcome back to the Business of Football Network. For our very first YouTube video, we're going to cover a live story, and we're going to be talking about the change of Power League to CEO Christian Rose. So, this is the very first attempt I have here at creating a YouTube video for the Business of Football Network. Eventually, you'll start to see some more different faces and more people coming on board and talking and doing mini pod episodes like this, but I thought I'd kick it off as the inaugural episode where we're going to talk about relevant stuff in the football business world. And one of the things that we're going to be, well, to give some context, we're going to be sourcing a lot of our articles and a lot of our opinions based on different football business spaces that we are a part of. So that would be nice to give some insights into what different people are doing in different business models and different ideas, some ways that people are coming up with creative and innovative solutions. How are people thinking about creating a better platform in the business world, big organizations, small organizations. We're going to be reviewing podcast episodes. So we've had a lot of high profile guests on our platform through the Business of Football podcast. So we're going to be reviewing that leader specifically. What have they done since coming on the podcast, reviewing their business, talking about their idea, maybe going into detail about what they said in our conversation, and going out and hopefully finding some little gems, nice businesses that people are coming up with. So all that to look forward to. I can't wait to bring you a lot of fantastic content on the Business of Football Network, and I can't wait for you guys to get involved with the people that are going to be coming on board as well. But we wrote an article on our website about Power League because we've had the former CEO Christian Rose on our podcast just before he retired. So it was an honor to have him on, and I think it's a good place to start. I personally have been using Power League for a long time now. I've been playing on their pitches for a long time. For a bit of context, if you're not familiar with what Power League is the biggest, I believe it's the biggest recreational like events holder. So they basically have loads of different pitches across the UK, and they house tournaments and they house six-a-side football and almost mini league competitions. So Christian Rose was the CEO over the last 7 years. He took over in 2018, and he recently announced his retirement, and he's going to be replaced by John Gillespie. Christian's legacy, I have some notes here. So 7 years as the CEO, he modernized Power League and expanded it into paddle, improved the facilities. He oversaw 43 million clubs and 9 million customers annually. So as you can imagine, they're quite a big organization here in the UK. And like I said earlier, friend of the podcast, he came on board recently. So in 2025, he announced that he's going to be staying until June 2026 for the handover, but he will be retiring and stepping down from Power League. So I'm going to talk a little bit first about my experience with Christian and the conversation that we had. Lovely guy, top guy, first of all. Like, I met him a bit earlier before our first episode, and he was just the nicest person in the world. And then obviously we sat down to record and film the podcast, and he was just such a nice person, but also really switched on. And when I spoke to him, I could really feel the passion for him to try and expand and continue to innovate Power League and its delivery and what it can deliver to a lot of people. I think the paddle expansion has really become a positive, because even when I go to Power League venues in Manchester, they have two venues. They have a football section, they have a paddle section, and both sections are just full of matches. Both sections are just full of people playing paddle or football. So for him to expand and go into that avenue when it was traditionally a football platform has been a really, really smart decision. And of course, it didn't come at the beginning. Paddle has taken off, and I know this is a football specific show, but of course, it's part of what Power League is now. But once that paddle, hey guys, sorry to interrupt you. I just want a few seconds of your time to tell you a little bit about something that's really, really exciting. So as you may know, the Business of Football podcast is changing. We are now the Business of Football Network. Here at the Business of Football Network, we will be bringing you more than ever engaging, insightful, deep depth content on what goes on the ground in the world of football, and you can join for free. As you may already know, our podcast has featured some of the biggest guests in the world of football. However, we want to bring you more than just that. From our weekly newsletter to our global community where you can be a part of, we want to bring you more than ever before content, insights, information, and engagement platforms about how you can get a career in the football industry. You can now head to the link in the description below and click on the link to join our free community. If you click the link in the description below right now, you can join our free WhatsApp community group chat. You can sign up to our free newsletter where you'll get information all the way from the top level, all the way down, all the information that goes on across the world when it comes to business of football. And our hands-on team will give you the best insights and the best detail about what's going on in their country. Whether you're in Europe, whether you're in America, whether you're in Asia, we've got you covered. But there's something a little bit extra. For those of you that want a little bit more hands-on behind-the-scenes content, as well as access to our international network, we are opening up the Business of Football Network's The Club. You can join the club and get exclusive, deeper access to some of the things that goes on behind the scenes in the football industry. You will get the more minute, personalized content and information that you wouldn't get anywhere else if you're part of the club membership. From more behind-the-scenes content to some of the access and key golden gems that we have had in some of our conversations or in some of the connections that we've had, as well as having opportunities to access our network directly, we want to give back to you guys because you've supported us so much. Head over to our webpage or click the link in the description below to join the club membership platform. It would be amazing to see some of you guys over there. We absolutely cannot wait to give you more. We can't wait to see you in our network. We can't wait to see you take off. But for now, I'll leave you with that. Take care and enjoy what you're listening to. So once that football delivery was so solid and at a much better place where they were seeing so much increase in terms of footfall and people coming in and having a better experience, that's when he used the lessons and they used the lessons of what they were doing right with the football delivery to then create a really, really effective and a really, really nice, unique and innovative paddle delivery. And so it's kind of worked simultaneously, which is really, really important. So for him, that was obviously a big project that they've been successful for. It seems that they're doing really well with that from the outside. Obviously, I don't know the specific figures, but I can only give you the outside perspective. And he spoke a lot about that on the podcast episode that we had. If you haven't listened to it, check it out, by the way, little plug. But I could see the passion within that. So innovation was a big thing. Christian has had a lot of experience when it comes to turning businesses around. That was his core skill base, was going into a business, turning it around, making it become successful, and then moving on to the next business. And really, he's done the same with Powerleague. He's turned it around into what it is today, and now he's stepping down. And he's being taken over by John Gillespie, who has been at Powerleague since 2018. So it's an internal recruitment from someone who's familiar and has actually been involved in the changeover process from what Powerleague was to what it is today. So it's a really astute decision because, of course, this is someone who understands the culture. He was the head of operations and the COO and marketing officer, and he also oversaw 37 clubs and 329 partner venues. So for this changeover, it seems like it could be fairly seamless because this is not someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And of course, you get that a lot with businesses and organizations. But I think what Powerleague has to deliver, John will have been a massive part of that already. And I would love to interview him for the podcast. I think that I'm going to put it out there, that would be an amazing conversation to have with his ideas and what his background is and how his leadership style will be different to Christian's. But that is a really, really important point. Powerleague has been leading a £14 million project with a rollout of 76 paddle courts across 18 clubs by 2026. And of course, their reputation is based on a customer-first culture, which I don't imagine is going to change. I think that's definitely going to be something that they continue to do. I think what will be interesting to see is whether the balance between football heritage and multi-sport growth, how that continues to evolve. Like I said, because they've gone into this evolution of paddle, are they going to prioritize that as paddle continues to grow and become effectively one of the most, I think it's the fastest growing sport in the world? And how are they going to manage Power League football and Power League paddle? And that's obviously something that is going to be delivered and driven by John as the incumbent CEO, who's going to be overseeing that massive change. Paddle could reshape the business model and the customer base, because obviously right now when I think of Power League, I think of football. When a lot of my colleagues and friends think of Power League, they think of football. Does Power League want to still be known as the football place? Does it want to be known as the paddle place? Does it want to be known as the sports place? What is their culture? That is exactly what is going to be the most interesting thing, in my opinion, to see. Are they going to be looking to diversify so it's more than just football and more than just recreational football? It's everything. We are a sports organization. Or are they going to try and stick to the two? Be interesting to see, in my opinion. I think that'd be interesting. And of course, within that, how are they going to keep people happy whilst continuing to scale up? Because of course, you can never stand still. You always have to keep evolving and keep doing things and making sure that the customer is happy. And I think one thing that I've specifically noticed with both deliveries is Power League has got such a good core base of understanding what its consumers want and making decisions that benefit the consumer, that I don't believe they will want to go too hard on leaving one specific community alienated, right? So I don't think they're just gonna go, right, we're going all in on paddle and we're gonna forget about football. You know, John has been part of the Power League fold for a long time, and the way that Christian spoke to me, you know, they are really pushing the boat in terms of making the delivery better for more people. They want, at the end of the day, their whole business is based on community. Their whole business is based on people rocking up and playing football together to be spend time with their friends. They are holding a platform for people to have good community spaces, and I think paddle's the exact same. I think they've now going to create a space where people can play paddle together, and because of that, because it's the community element of things, I don't think one is necessarily going to fall by the wayside. So it's going to be really cool to see that and fascinating to see that. We have a lot more on our website when it comes to going into the insights of this particular story. I thought it would just be cool to cover it because number one, Christian has come on the podcast and he's a good guest, and number two, Power League's a big deal. So we will be looking out to see what they do. If you guys want to stay involved, then make sure to like this video. If you enjoyed it, it would mean a lot to us. And feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms, which will be in the link in the description below. Welcome on board the network. We are really excited to have you. Thank you very much for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.